So with that, thank you so much for coming, and I'd like to welcome Mayor Tovar.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Well, let's start with a very big open overview question.
Okay.
Let's get your big picture, your vision for Tolleson in the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow. This is, for me, it's just an awesome opportunity to share my vision, the council's vision with you. Just as also, many of you might know that I am a realtor and I'm a member of WeMore as well too, so absolutely, yay! Absolutely love it. And with real estate agents, I know it's crucial for us to kind of know what's going to be happening with the city, what are their plans, so that we could attract clients, and maybe those clients that are repeat clients, give them that information ahead of time so that they feel that they're in the know of what's happening within our community. So great news within the city of Tolleson, within our strategic planning vision for 5 to 10 years. This Saturday, we just had our first ever strategic planning session with our mission, our core values, our vision statement, and what we want to see as far as the future for our city. So some of the highlights that came out was definitely we have a proposal and plan for our city to have 10,000 residents. So many of you, when you drive around the city of Tolleson, you go into actually the city of Phoenix at times, and not knowing that you're crossing those borders because there is no big sign that flashes that says you're now in Phoenix. The city of Tolleson shares a zip code with the city of Phoenix, which is 85353. So when you are on Lower Buckeye, on 99th Avenue and you're at the Target, you are actually in Phoenix. So we get quite a bit of residents that believe they're residents of Tolleson. And they have probably every right to believe they're residents of Tolleson because they receive mail every day that says Tolleson, Arizona. But they receive a water bill from the city of Phoenix. And that to us is our signal that they're not residents, but they call and we love them anyways. So when you're actually driving around, please and we'll hopefully share some maps with you as well too. We have some goodies on the side for you as well too. But our boundaries, we're actually a city of 6 square miles. And currently have over about 7,000 residents. But if you pass our southern border of Buckeye, then you are now in the city of Phoenix. If you pass our northern border, which is just north of McDowell on the north side of the street, you're also in the city of Phoenix. Yes, and then we're on 75th Avenue all the way to 107th Avenue. So, which is pretty cool. If you look at our map, we are an upside down T. So, which is great. And it's great to remember as well, too. But let me tell you some of the other priorities and visions that we're thinking of within our city. So we are going to be building a new city hall, and we're going to be having a campus as well. And that's going to incorporate as well as a multi-generational center, because a lot of us know that when we go into cities, there's usually like a teen center, there's a senior citizen center. Our thoughts are trying to melt our community together and use our strengths within our community, within our age brackets, to build that camaraderie within our community. I was blessed to have been born and raised in the city of Tolleson, and my family owned a grocery store for about 50 years. And for me, the most important part of being a citizen of Tolleson was our close-knit community. So as a council right now, our vision is to continue that close-knit community. And that means neighbors knowing neighbors. And that means, sharing things. That means going out into the community and really being engaged and feeling that you're part of the community. So part of our plans in the future are trying to integrate and interact, engage our constituents so that they feel that, number one, they're important. Number two, they're driving our goals and our vision because we consider their voice to be the most crucial component in our city. So City Hall, library campus with a cafe where, a multi-generational approach. There was even talk as well in our strategic planning session of an aquatic center. We currently have a pool that we share with the high school right now that has probably met its age as far as I used to go swimming in it, so that'll tell you how old it is. And we want to offer those amenities to our constituency. Another thing as well is revitalizing some of our parks and making them more playful for all of our constituents. Adding programming for our elderly as well during the evening. Right now, we just have a new class that is a sign language class. And that was brought forward to us because our constituents were like, hey, we want to learn something, and wouldn't it be neat to learn sign language? And so now we have a class in the evening time that teaches sign language. So we really listen to our constituents and what their needs and wants are. We're widening 91st Avenue. If any of you travel that 3-lane road right now, it probably drives me crazy. One of our first priorities that we voted when we became a full council in December, one of our main priorities is to widen our 91st Avenue to 5 lanes. I was like, yes, yes,
nice.
very, very exciting. And great news to share as well, too. We just had a new housing development that is going to be coming into the city of Tolleson that'll be located on 91st Avenue between Washington and Jefferson. It's going to be a new build coming in, and they have worked in the city of Avondale as well. I'm forgetting the Pinnacle Homes. And they're going to be building 75 brand new homes, 2-story, 1-story, all free, 4-bedroom, up to 5-bedroom as well too. So that should be breaking ground early next year. And we are working with another developer as well too to have a larger home development come in our north part of town as well too.
Which one is that?
Pinnacle Homes is the one that is currently coming in. We are still in like the very initial stages of working with the developer right now for the secondary home site as well too.
Great. That'll be exciting to see.
Yes, very exciting.
So you obviously have a lot of big changes going on.
Yes.
Recently in your September 20th council work study, you just discussed a code of conduct. Does the city discuss and update this document every year, or is this something new?
So this is something new that our city has undertook as well too, because we feel as elected officials, not only are we accountable to our constituency, we are accountable to each other. As well too. So that was a new system that we put in place, and I could see us looking at it every couple of years to revise it. And essentially what it is a handbook for appointed and elected officials in our town on what is expected of them and what isn't expected of them as well too. So we want to make sure that we are providing the best professional services to our families, and we thought that was the way to do it.
Great. So recently, the City Council voted to expand the core. Can you explain what the areas are in the core and what the core expansion is?
Okay, so if you ever driven in Tolleson and gone down Van Buren, that would be essential. That would be our core. And now that you see, if you drive by in the evening time, you'll see lights on both sides, the trees that are lined and lit up. And now in October, we have a couple of the trees that are purple just to bring awareness out for domestic violence awareness as well too. So our core is just our main road that offers our residents and our businesses enhanced amenities. And we have a couple of businesses that are on the main street that have been there for many, many years. And they would love to improve their frontage. They would love to give it a new facelift, except they're lacking the funds. I mean, we're all in here as small business owners, and it's difficult at times to make sure that, if we want to invest in our infrastructure, sometimes we need that help. And so with some grants that are out there in the community, we're fortunate enough to have been awarded. And then from there, what we do is we extend that generosity to our small business owners so that, when they apply for infrastructure needs, this comes at no cost to them. So a lot of the facelifts that you'll see on Van Buren are all grants and all have been helping our small business owners as well. So right now it's Van Buren, The council just expanded our core district to include 91st Avenue as well too. So that'll enhance some of our businesses that are there as well too, because in the city of Tolleson, we want to make sure that we are treating all of our businesses with equality and making sure they have the same advantages, whether you're a small business owner or you're the Fortune 500, corporation that's in our city limits, that you have the same type of opportunities to have your business succeed.
How do you blend housing, agricultural, industry, and commercial all in the same area south of I-10? And then after that, we had several other just questions from our members, one after the other. So we'll start with that, and then we'll just go through the next little boom, boom, boom set of questions.
Okay. So how do we blend? I think Tolleson is unique in that we have been transformative ever since we've become a city. So when we were a city back in the early 1900s, when my grandparents migrated into the city, we were known for agriculture. Of course, we were the vegetable capital of the world. Just kind of let that sink in for a second, of the world. I mean, we had until the 1980s and 90s, we had vegetables going, across the pond. And funny stories, we had a council member that was in Harrods in London and shopping and went to the vegetable area and found carrots that were from Tolleson. Yes, from Rusu Farms. So we were the vegetable capital of the world. And as many of us know in here, things change, our economy changed, so we had to reinvent ourselves. And that became our next boom of what was our industrial base. Many people may not like our square buildings, such as warehouses, but they have provided us some financial security and stability through the toughest times. When we hit the recession, we were one of 5 cities in Arizona that stayed in the black. Wow. We did not lay off a single employee. We did not have pay cuts. We did not have their health benefits decrease. We operated financially strong through the 7 years. And that, our industrial base, was a key part of us being sustainable. So we went into the next stage of which was, our economic base as well. And then we're moving now into, the new phase of hopefully would be e-commerce and housing as well. Our community has struggled through many struggles throughout its, existence as a city, but I feel that we are very resistant and we adapt very, very fast to what our threats can be. And so that's why now, we're looking at increasing our population to 10,000 within our city and continuing trying to be the leader within e-commerce in our community.
So we have a series of 5 questions that members had sent in for you.
Okay.
First one is, can you update us on the progress and plans of the new City Hall?
Oh my goodness, that is just something I am so excited about, because our City Hall is about 70 years old. Yes, it is in need of just demolition. If you walk in through our City Hall, we at one time had all of our services as a city in one building. So now when you walk through my office in City Hall, that was once our police chief's office. We have employees that their office was once the city jail. I thought it would be cute to keep the jail, the bars, but some employees were like, no, I don't think we want it. And windows. There are very few windows in our city hall. So people are just clamoring towards, just to look outside. And to have that flexibility, as many of us know, we work better when we're in groups and it's an open type of atmosphere, where the City Hall does not allow that type of productivity. So we are now in the design phase for our City Hall campus. And we look forward by the end of this year to have plans in place to have shovels in the ground relatively soon in 2018.
Great.
Yes.
Expansion of Van Buren near the high school?
Yes, so expansion, and we have a retail center that is going to be coming up on 99th Avenue on the southwest corner. And for many of you that are familiar with our town, We have many veterans that have served, and many veterans that have lost their lives in different wars. And we like to pay tribute to them and remember them and their families. So a few of our streets in Tolleson are named after veterans that lost their lives in Vietnam. And our veterans have always been an integral part of our community. So I'm excited to announce that the veterans, the VFW, is going to be having their first ever home built in Tolleson on Main Street on Van. And that's going to be at one of our new developments. It's just right off the corner of 99th Avenue, their southwest corner as well too. So we're doing some amazing things on Van Buren, our school as well. Our high school is located right there too. So we're looking at making our roadways safer. So we're always talking to our high schools and saying, hey, how can we, help in making sure that our students are safe? So we always have meetings within our police chiefs, our fire chiefs of how we improve our existing infrastructure.
Expansion of 91st and 99th.
Ooh, so 91st I spoke about. 99th is another, has been an issue in the past. And if you pass south of Van Buren, you might hit some of those crazy potholes. And I get calls all the time, like, when are you going to fix it? We were actually awarded money many, many moons ago under Prop 2, and used those and actually had a great collaboration within the city of Avondale, where we joined our funds together to improve 99th Avenue, what was north of Van Buren, all the way to the freeway. So we share that border. On the west side of 99th Avenue is the city of Avondale, and on the east side is the city of Tolleson. Combine those funds together to make those road improvements. And now we're hoping for some more funding where where we can do that improvement just south of 99th Avenue. But a key issue for many of you that have followed in the Southwest Valley within the Loop 202, there was about a decade ago where that freeway, the plans were for it to come right through the heart of Tolleson. That would have destroyed our community, but thankfully many of our leaders stood up, we fought that battle, and now that freeway is going to be going through 51st Avenue. So yeah, that was a huge barrier that we overcame to save our city.
Can you update us on the progress and plan High Street Plaza?
Yeah, so High Street Plaza is our newest development, our retail development that's just almost on the corner of 83rd Avenue and Van Buren on the south side, right across the street from our police department. So you'll see like a multicolored building, which is pretty neat. The developers are Swedish, and they just had a concept of like, hey, we want to bring color in and kind of think of it as what are those things that are the shipping containers. So you'll see colors and you'll see box forms that look like shipping containers, and that's their new development. We do have 3 companies that have signed leases so far, one that is being revised, but hopefully we'll be able to announce soon on what those companies are. There are 2 drive-through areas as well. I know our police department, they really want a donut shop across the street. So let's just hope that happens for them. Yes. Yeah, vegan donuts. Yeah.
Very specific.
Yes.
Can you update us on the new library?
The new library. Yes. So we just had an expansion at our library, our existing library. And this December, we're going to be celebrating 50 years of existence for our library. If you've never gone to our public library, please come down and visit. Our librarian was a former librarian at our elementary school. She has done amazing things within our library as far as revamping it, making it very kid-friendly. We also have quite a bit of a collection of Native American artifacts that date back hundreds of years. So within our plans for our new library, we're thinking of ways to incorporate our history and our collection with some of our new features as well too. So
that'd be
yeah, come
nice.
take a look, come on in. If you ever want to do yoga with our preschoolers, you could be in there doing yoga with our preschoolers. So.
They'll be much more flexible.
Yes, more flexible.
Tell us about the city's water system. Is it in good repair? With all the commercial expansion, how does the city plan to keep adequate access to residents and commercial users?
So another fact you may not know is that the city of Tolleson has its own wastewater treatment center, which is unheard of in a city that has a population of less than 10,000. We own and operate our own wastewater. We deliver 3.5 million gallons a day of safe and healthy water to the Southwest region. We are a proud supporter of the Palo Verde plant in delivering them affluent water so that they can cool their turbines there at Palo Verde. Who would have thought that this small little town, many, many miles away from Palo Verde, helps in delivering electricity to what's 5 of our most western states in the United States. So we play an integral part of that as well too. But we are in the process of trying to outreach to our cities in the West Valley to become more of a hub in providing water for our Southwest cities as well too, because many of us know our budgets are tight, and the last thing that any of our constituents want is a raise in their water rates or any type of rates. So collaborating with other cities brings the cost down for everyone, and it's essentially a win-win for our cities where we save money. We, in return, don't pass any type of cost increase to our constituents as well too.
Nice. In May, we heard from cities bordering the 303 about their economic development plans. Is Tolleson working in conjunction with the other West Valley cities as part of Tolleson's overall economic development plan?
Absolutely. We belong to a group called Westmark, and many of you here know what Westmark does with its economic development. So we are 13 or 15 in West, 15 cities in the West Valley with one united voice. And that's pretty hard to do when you're working with many West Valley cities. But we feel that the West Valley is such a gem, and we have so much potential for future economic development where we want to essentially live, work, and play. Those are our 3 components that hold us together with Westmark. And anything that is great for the region would be just having us shine, because we don't like to be beat out by the East Valley anymore. And we feel that any of our new construction is going to be here in the West Valley. So why not work together to try and help our region be a place for all of our constituents to live, work, and play. So we are definitely on board. Whatever is great, we work together. I happen to have lunch and breakfast and dinner with our Southwest mayors twice a month. So we're always constantly talking, collaborating. Hey, what's working great in your city? What can I do to help? We are essentially there for one another to help each other out, regardless of where our borders are at.
So I'll tell you, if you were able to go to the Economic Development Forum, the cities that were talking about this interactivity between the cities in the West Valley, when I talked to our commercial agents, that change, which some of us may not realize has happened over the last few years, but that change in attitude where the cities are actively working together to bring business to this region has really made the commercial agent's life easier. They know they can bring a client here and they will be able to place that business somewhere in the West Valley, and the cities actually help them. So for those of you who are in commercial, that's been a great boon for you. For those of us in residential, that is huge because that means we can place someone in a house and we know they'll have a job and a place to go for that. So that's been terrific. That has been such a great thing for our area, having you all work together.
Yes, absolutely. And if we have any commercial agents that are here, I'll give you information for our economic developer, Jason Earp. He is an Earp. Yes, he's white Earp's descendant. But he is an amazing gentleman that will help you. And if he can't help you within our city to bring that business there, he will definitely outreach to other economic developers in the West Valley because they also meet together on a regular basis to help each other as well.
What is your vision of Tolleson regarding economic, job, and building development within the next 5 years, and how do you plan to accomplish that? So that goes back into your new strat planning.
Yes. So One of the major issues I would say that we hear time and time again is that, wow, we're such a small city, but during the day, our population can go up to 35,000 in a workforce. So whenever we have a company that comes to our city, we always ask them, are you willing to be open to employing our constituents or our Southwest residents? And they are always very open to making sure that we have, career days, that we have, interview days, and making sure that they're included in our process. Because the best thing for a new home owner who lives in Avondale or Goodyear or Tolleson, they want to live close to where they work. Long are the days of traveling and commuting an hour away to Chandler, or an hour and a half now because of, crashes on the I-10. They want to have a great place to work that pays well. So that's one of the things when any type of company comes in. Our latest that I can think of is SK Foods. So SK Foods makes the sandwiches, delicious sandwiches, for Starbucks. And what they do is they have part-time, full-time. The CEO of SK Foods, our city manager and staff, met with him, and he was just a wealth of knowledge. He started off at SK Foods. He actually lied about his age and worked there before he was of age to work, and worked his way up. And now he's the president of SK Foods. His commitment is to employ our kids that are going to college, those maybe a first-time job, those that are retooling themselves to come back into a different line of work. They're paying at a minimum of $15 to start, offering full medical benefits, even if you're part-time.
Wow.
So those are the type of companies that our economic developer, Jason, and our city manager, Reyes Medrano, try to attract. Because those are the companies that we want to retain in the city of Tolleson. They have the same vision and focus as what we have as well too. And those are partners that we're going to excel in. We're going to have many people that hopefully one day get employed there and become the next president and CEO of SK Foods. But that's just one example of our many companies that are in the city of Tolleson that we share those type of partnerships with. And it's all about establishing those partnerships to have each other succeed.
That's great. So with that, is Tolleson actively courting businesses, companies, corporations from other states or other countries, or both?
Yes, both. So we just had a grand opening. If you're part of the Southwest Chamber, we just had a grand opening of Danby. So Danby is a Canadian company that makes appliances. And they are just the cutest appliances ever. I went to the ribbon cutting, and they make those little fridges that go into dorm rooms, into your small homes. They have little microwaves, you name it, they build it. And they have an outlet store in Tolleson as well too. So if you're looking for those client gifts, the closing gifts that are very reasonable, please go to our shop. It's open from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Mention me and you'll get a 10% discount to shop in Tolleson. But that's one example. They came from Canada. And they were looking to land in the Southwest region because many companies from Canada are now relocating into the Southwest Valley. We happen just to have that perfect fit for them. And now they are donating to our veterans. They are donating to some of our events as well. So we definitely make them feel at home, and we want them to succeed as well too. Another one that just came in as well too, which might shock you, but now in the city of Tolleson, we have a yacht company called Bravada. So Bravada Yachts, they build yachts for your high-end clients. The latest yacht that they just built and shipped to Lake Powell, so Lake Powell is like their destination, that's their highest client sales are to Lake Powell, is a $3 million yacht that was just built in Tolleson, shipped out in pieces, and put together at Lake Powell. Wow. So that's another one that just came to the city of Tolleson.
It's not your average houseboat up there.
No, it's not your average houseboat. One of them actually looks like a a shipping, what is it, how we saw it, we saw one of them that could be built. It looked like a tanker, like that you would see on an ocean.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a Navy ship, and I was like, "You can make this?" They were like, "We can make anything." Sweet, yes.
Wow, that's terrific. I had no idea.
Yes, yeah.
So we are going to take a 10-minute break right now. Okay, well, thank you all. And we do have some questions, so thank you for that. So we're going to start off with our member questions from the break.
Awesome.
What are the businesses in Tolleson that we would be surprised about?
Ooh, okay. So I gave you a little bit of teaser with Bravada being new, but so many of us in here drink Gatorade when it's hot on summertime, or even not when it's hot for electrolytes. So if you have a bottle of Gatorade that you have drank, that comes from the city of Tolleson and the city of Tolleson's water. The city of Tolleson hosts Gatorade, their biggest site in the western region, and they supply Gatorade to the western United States. They have lines. I happened to go in there and do a tour, and I felt like Laverne and Shirley. Like all these bottles were going, and I was like, ooh, like I wanted to touch stuff. They're like, you can't touch anything. But it was so neat to see that all the different kinds of Gatorade, whether it be the one with no sugar or whatever it is there and manufactured with our water. And an also great thing about PepsiCo is on top of their roofs, which just happened a couple of years ago, is they have the largest corporate solar panels, I want to say in the western region of our state, besides APS's big farm down in Gila Bend, but on top of their roofs as well too. Their mission, our mission coincide. They are all the time donating to all of our events citywide, all of our nonprofits. They are a great partner. They have volunteer teams that'll come out and just help out as well. Bose, if you listen to your little speakers now, we have a facility in Tolleson, Bose, that has that as well. Big Albertsons and Fry's, their corporate office and distribution centers, all the groceries that are into those Fry's and Albertsons all come from the city of Tolleson as well too. We do happen to have a slaughterhouse in Tolleson that has been there for decades upon decades. If you ever have a hamburger at Wendy's, you're eating the beef that comes from Tolleson. If you shop at Sprouts and buy some of their organic what is it? Not their sausage and beef. That's also there as well too. So I could probably go on and on different ones as well too. Costco, we have a Costco facility. So all the things you see and buy at Costco, they all get shipped from Tolleson as well too. Many of you know we have a rail that goes down through our city as well too. So we have quite a bit of our businesses, our corporate offices that use that rail to help them as well too. But right now in the city of Tolleson, we probably have like 30 Fortune 300 companies easily within it. We do also have our first ever gas station that is all propane as well too. For many of our companies that are switching over to a propane type of style, we have that as well too. So yeah, many surprises. So yeah. I could probably go on and on, but that's probably our biggest shockers.
Great. What are the 5 lanes, where are the 5 lanes starting on 91st Avenue?
So 91st Avenue, it'll be right just south of the I-10 freeway, and that'll go all the way to Van Buren. And we're also retrofitting the road south of Van Buren to establish those 5 lanes that'll enter just north of Van Buren.
Okay. In the recent past, Maricopa County cities have lost businesses and corporate opportunities due to the poor ratings of Arizona schools. Do you feel like promoting University High School would be more of a draw for corporations and executives with families?
Absolutely. So part of the Westmark team that we're in, we highlight, and right now I just attended their board of directors meeting a couple of weeks ago. And part of our strategic planning is how do we come together as a West Valley to highlight some of our educational advantages, whether it be our universities that are located in the West Valley, some of our top-notch high schools, our charter schools as well, but to come together and to give those corporations that are looking to relocate in the West Valley those tools that they need to sell it to their board of directors to come into the West Valley as well too. We happen to boast in Tolleson our university high that's ranked number 11th in the nation for a school, and they're a public school, but more of a magnet school, and they focus on getting our children, when a lot of our children that graduate from university high, I've had one nephew, one niece. When they entered into college, they both had a full academic scholarship that paid for their 4-year university, and they also earned about a year and a half of college credit as well too. So an amazing school. If you need to learn more about it, please let us know. Our staff up here will connect you with the high school, and we work very closely with them as well too.
Terrific. Are you concerned that the gentrification of Tolleson would affect the heritage and original feel of the city?
That's always an issue that comes up, and that's something that we've talked about as a council and what we hear from our community as well. One of the things that I say that we do best is making sure that we take care of our community and make things affordable for them as well too. So we have many of our neighborhoods that are at an affordable rate for housing as well too, and that is something that is very important to us. Our new development that is coming in as well, we're making sure that it is affordable under the $200,000 range for our communities for a 3-4 bedroom home as well too. But that is, I would say, nationwide. I was just in Pittsburgh for an innovation tour, and they happen, in my eyes, it's like the biggest small city ever. And they are trying to attract and retain some of the greatest innovation centers there. And part of their draw is the affordability of their homes. I mean, I was going down and I was looking, I was like, oh my gosh, you can get a home for like $80-some thousand in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And so they're making a strategic effort to make sure they have policies in place to keep their housing affordable. And that was something I learned there. That's something I'll bring back to the city of Tolleson and hopefully implementing a policy. Because all of us on council, we all agree on it. So right now there is no need for that policy, but in the future when we're not there, we want to make sure that type of tradition continues.
Okay. Any help with solar through SRP? No savings compared to APS. And this came from an agent who just had a client move out of APS into SRP territory. And she's wondering if the city can do anything to help with that.
Well, we can definitely refer you to one of our agents that we work closely, our intergovernmental relations officer that works at SRP. We can get you in contact with them. But I know as a realtor, when you solar, it always pulls out my hair. And I think a plug for the next class is all about solar. There's so much to learn, so many things that have changed to the corporation commission from one utility company to another. I know it's frustrating, but I think as long as we're educating and have the latest and greatest research and things that are out there from the Corporation Commission, from APS, SRP, that helps within our clients to get them educated. So when they switch from one company to another, definitely expect some changes as far as what their rates are as well. And it also depends, I guess, when they've gotten on the system. There's so many things. In my former life, I was a state senator and a state representative, so I dealt with many of those issues as far as those rates. Yeah, it was a hot topic issue and still continues to be as well too.
Tolleson has recently landed several large commercial manufacturing facilities, including Danby, which you mentioned before. Tell us how you find companies to locate in Tolleson. Do you provide tax incentives, just the great location? How is Tolleson utilizing foreign free trade zones as part of the economic development?
So we do offer tax incentives as well. It's great that Tolleson has a tax rebate as well too. And I know that I could probably say something and I don't want to screw it up. So I could probably have my city manager just briefly say a few things about it. We don't have anyone currently on a foreign trade zone, but that is an option that we do have as well too. But do you want to mention some other things that?
Yeah. Do you want to bring a mic? We'll get a mic for you.
Is it working?
There
Okay.
you go.
Good morning. We get this question quite a bit. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good? Okay. My name is Reyes Medrano. I am blessed to work for my sister. We grew up together, even though I'm a lot older. But we have a blast every day, and it's an absolute joy to come to work every day. And I mean, who wouldn't want to work for her? I think you would all agree. Because it's a true partnership, and that mutual trust that we have is the first step. It's the first step to attracting these types of businesses. We're asked all the time, how do you, like when we landed SK Foods, we got calls from all over the region. How'd you do it? Well, our answer was, well, we answered their questions and then did what we said we were going to do. It is that simple. It's all about treating corporate America, corporations, like your residents and ensuring that their success, that you demonstrate that their success is our success. It literally is. The question is whether or not an organization is prepared to embody that. And we embody that, the mayor embodies it, and it rolls throughout the organization because we know we're empowered to deliver. And that's all she expects is deliver and bring in the types of, the quality that we aspire to. With regard to incentive packages, it varies depending on the type of business. So I became city manager over 12 years ago, and Mayor Tovar was Vice Mayor Tovar at the time. And council, the first thing council told me is go get Walmart. So I said, all right, no pressure, I'll go get Walmart. We came in second to Avondale, and if anyone from Avondale is here, I hate losing to Avondale. We're very competitive, but like the mayor said, we work very well together. So if they landed in Avondale, it's good for the region. Just like IKEA landed in Glendale, it's good for all of us. But at that point, council designated retail recruitment as our top priority. So what we've done since then is try to attract as much retail revenue generators and diversify those revenue sources as much as possible through our incentive program. And there's a question later that's going to come up, I believe, with regard to how we make development pay for itself. They do, but when they can't, we step in and we fill that gap. The gap between the purchase price of land versus the cost to develop it. If we get a chance, we'll fill that gap through sales tax rebates primarily. One thing we've done, I would say about 5 years ago, because we've built out all major infrastructure that you can build with development impact fees, we now eliminated impact fees. So in Tolleson, you have a built-in incentive, and that's usually enough. So if you get a typical warehouse that doesn't generate retail sales, the impact fee waiver is automatic, and the transportation impact fee is staggering for a warehouse because of the constant truck traffic. It's based on trips per day. If it's a warehouse that generates retail sales, we will seriously consider a foreign trade zone designation. We also qualify, we're one of the only city in Maricopa County that qualifies for certain tax incentives through the Arizona Commerce Authority because of our rural designation. So it really depends on the type of use that's going to occupy a building, but we can incentivize everything, and we do incentivize everything. Just the innate ability to do so, to offer the impact fee waiver, it takes people aback. We have to pick jaws up off the floor all the time because I think we're the only city that's able to do that. But we hate saying no. And in your brokerage community, pass the word along as we hate to say no. We hate to lose, and we hate to say no. So Bravada is a great example. They just showed up on our doorstep. We have an excellent partnership with the Greater Phoenix Economic Council as well, and they keep our finger on the pulse of the industrial community because it's in the industrial community that we're trying to diversify our retail revenue as much as possible as well. If we could, we would convert every warehouse that you see in Tolleson to e-commerce because to a city like Tolleson, that has an incredible effect. E-commerce specifically pulled us out of the recession 3 years ahead of time. We were able to offer merit increases to our employees 3 years before every other city because of the balance that we enjoy between residential and industrial commercial development. I hope that answered the question. Okay.
Absolutely.
Can I ask a quick question on how to do
Yes.
the foreign free trade zones? So I don't know if you have like Goodyear and Surprise, they have the big magnet sites, or if you do the one-offs. Do you do the one-offs, or do you have an actual magnet site for free?
It would be
Is it a mix?
considered a one-off. It
Yeah.
depends on the use. We have one that was done in the 90s for the pasta company,
Oh,
but that was
okay.
pre-existing before
Okay.
Westmark started their program.
Okay.
But we belong to the Phoenix Foreign Trade Zone. They administer our foreign trade
okay.
zone for us.
Okay.
But we would happily entertain that because I think you all know, but foreign trade zones basically offset the property taxes. When you compare it to sales tax revenue, the difference is a no-brainer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me my packet.
Sure.
So for those of you who are not familiar with foreign free trade zones, usually you see them like up at the 303 and the 10. It's the big chunk of land, and that's where companies land. But there is a system in Arizona where the cities can designate and the companies can get together and designate that particular company's place, wherever that is in the city, and that can be identified as a foreign free trade zone. They have to go through certain approvals, but it can be done. So if you're working with in commercial and you have someone that you think might be able to do that, but they're not in a magnet site, it's okay. Go to the city and they can help you get through that process of being identified.
Like Reyes said, we don't like to say no.
Yeah. The city of Tolleson has 5 land use district categories in its general plan for 2024. We have community, core, gateway, corridor, business. Can you tell us more about each district type?
Yes. So our community is what fosters our close-knit community in places that effort on safe housing or walkability and creating that safe neighborhood that we can live, work, and play. Within our core, I talked a little bit about our core being on Main Street and 91st, and that helps enhance our business community in providing goods for our constituents and attracting those from the West Valley or from any part of the valley or from out of state as well. You know, we want to become a destination center, and our core is vital in making sure that we have different amenities in place to offer that for people to come and travel, visit, eat, play, and hopefully stay there. I didn't mention earlier is that we do have a new Marriott that's coming into Tolleson. It's the Marriott Fairfield Inn, and that'll be on the corner of 91st Avenue and McDowell.
Great. Okay,
Absolutely.
that takes care of that question
Yeah,
down here.
oh gosh.
That's good.
Yes, our gateway as well is just provides housing options and services to our residents to help grow our population, and our goal again is 10,000, and helps with our economic base as well too. And then we got our corridor, encourages our new commercial and small businesses as well too. We definitely put a big emphasis on helping promote our small businesses. And as Reyes said, we were out of the recession, 3 years earlier, and we're able to offer our employees. But, as many of us know here, it was those small businesses that helped our economy nationwide to come out of our recession. So we really put value in making sure that our small business owners, our future entrepreneurs have those resources in our city. We're doing one program right now where we have, they are called, oh gosh, I always forget these little names of our kiosks. So our little kiosks, and that's to encourage our entrepreneurs that may not be ready financially to take that big step into renting or signing a lease for their business. But this gives them an opportunity to start off their small business at a kiosk in our city. And our goal and hopes for them is that they kick off their small business and that it's big enough for them to move into the next step of becoming a business owner as well. We've been successful at that. We do grants on a yearly basis to try and switch our kiosks to help as many of our constituents as possible.
You have to be a particular kind of business to take advantage of that?
No,
Okay.
we've had various types. We have right now, if you guys are into Sonoran hot dogs, we have one of our kiosks. It's called Dos Manos, and in English it's 2 hands. You nearly need 2 hands to eat these hot dogs.
Wow.
And he is right on his kiosk, faces 91st Avenue. I'm just Van Buren, and he's right next to our water feature. So when we do our movies in the park or our coffee talks with Mayor, he's there selling hot dogs.
Oh, that's great.
On an evening, he's there in the evening time. We have another one that does some fresh fruit, and they slice it up and they put some chili on it, and they do all sorts of great things. Have some agua frescas. I mean, if you love different types of fruit water, that's all natural, healthy. We have the next kiosk that has that as well too.
Nice.
So yeah, just a variety of different small businesses.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then our business is our light manufacturing and our distribution center that we spoke about earlier too with our 30 Fortune 300 companies.
Great.
Yeah. And each one we invested as well within the city. Like our city manager said, if there's any issues where we can come in and fill that gap, we do. We make a true investment within our community to make our constituents succeed, our businesses succeed, and just always moving forward and how to be innovative and just creative. Because at times you do have to be very creative.
Yes. Community facility districts, CFDs, are becoming more common. In some cities, we'll see several CFDs associated with one parcel of land. Frequently, these fees are passed on to homeowners. Please explain the use of CFDs in Tolleson, if you have them, and how they impact homeowners.
So many of us here in the room, we all know those CFDs, and try explaining that to a new home buyer, right? They're like, what do I have to pay for? Like, what is this? I'm proud to say in the city of Tolleson, we do not have any CFDs. We feel that our public service officers, our police officers, our fire, it's a very crucial component in having that quality of service that we so desire at every community. But the city of Tolleson truly invests in that and making sure that we provide that gap so that it's not passed to our constituents or our future residents of Tolleson. And we will continue to do that as well, whether it be with our police, within our parks. Every year we go through a budget process, and that's something that we want to make sure that we have those amenities that our residents could benefit from, but at the same time, not have that burden of that extra tax for them as well.
Great. That makes us happier.
Yes, absolutely.
With increased growth comes the need for the police and fire, as you just mentioned. What is the city's plan to pay for and grow these services?
For our police and fire?
Yeah.
So our police and fire are in brand new green certified buildings. They're about 5 to 6 years each that they've been in these facilities. And that's been with our former council as well. That's been with their planning and knowing that at some point we're going to need a new facility. We need to invest within our community, not pass that along to our constituents, to our businesses, but providing those top-notch services. In Tolleson, we have a ladder truck that is not typical of a community of our size. But yet, when you look at our surroundings, we have many buildings, warehouses that would need those services. So in case one were to catch fire, we needed to have our apparatuses within fire to respond as well too, and to be a part of our mutual aid agreement within other cities and provide those top-notch services that we receive as well. From our police department as well, and making sure they're highly trained. I'm proud to boast that a lot of our officers have gone to the FBI Academy, have been trained, and have come back and stayed within our community to not only, share what they've learned to other officers, but implement innovative programs in our city. We have a new chief right now. He has worked for our city for about 20 years, and he is just an amazing public servant. He has now implemented our bike patrol, and our bike patrol goes around our community and our neighborhoods, and we get calls maybe from constituents saying, I'm really, there might be an issue with people, being in alleys, and so our bike patrols are able to go into a neighborhood without being heard or seen, and helping catch, our bad apples that are out there. And being proactive and engaging our community and letting them know they're the eyes and ears of our community, and we need to work together. So definitely from a standpoint from our council, we will continue to invest in services to making sure that we provide the best for our community.
It's terrific. So let's see here. Here it is. Transportation is important to the city of Tolleson. Rail, air, and roadways. Can you please tell us a bit about the transportation plan and how you anticipate it will impact the economy of Tolleson?
Well, we're working diligently within MAG, which is our Maricopa Association of Governments, That is something that every city belongs to as well. We are trying to get what is called SR 85, SR 30. I get all these numbers mixed up. Too many numbers on transportation. That is a reliever to the I-10 freeway. The I-10, as all of us know who travel it, needs to be wider, needs to be run a lot more efficient. You're stuck when you're heading eastbound in the morning, usually get stuck right in Tolleson off at 99th, between 99th and 91st Avenue. And guaranteed there's a wreck on 75th or 59th. That's always the case. So transportation is key and vital for any community's viability and attraction rate as well too. So we're working not only with Maricopa County, we are working with our federal government as well too. We just hired on a national lobbyist to help us attract and retain any type of grant money that would help us with our infrastructure needs as well too, and retaining and trying to have the best type of transportation options as possible. One thing I know that in the West Valley we're all struggling with within our cities is providing that public transportation that is so desperately needed for our families, for those that can afford or choose not to have a regular mode of transportation, and working with the Valley Metro Board and having more options, more routes in the West Valley. One great story I'd like to share is within our Zoom bus community, and that is within a couple of municipalities, Avondale being one and Goodyear. We came together and helped form a Zoom bus, which is very affordable for our constituents, that could take them from city to city and stops at very vital stops, such as going to Costco and doing your grocery shopping, going to shopping centers, going to the public library, and that is at a cost of 50 cents for them to travel as well too. So we'll continue in partnering with communities to help our most vulnerable constituents, provide them different modes of transportation as well. At the state level, I was always a big fan of our light rail and expanding our light rail out to the West Valley, so that I will continue on working and trying to get that out into the West Valley. Because when you go to any type of metropolitan city in the East Coast, their transportation, whether it be subway or light rail, it's a system that I wish we had put in place here decades ago, because it would help out tremendously on us not having to travel by car and wait in those, traffic jams all the time. So hopefully in the future, we'll continue as a city to do our part, but any way that we can collaborate with other cities, we'll continue to do.
So you mentioned SR 30, and we've conversations with different mayors about what that looks like as it's progressed. The plans have progressed and changed over time. So from what you know right now, do you think that's going to be a toll road or not a toll road? Because at one point they were talking to be a toll road.
Yeah, there was talk of it being a toll road. I am 110% against it being a toll road. There is no other toll road in our metro area in the state of Arizona. Why would that burden become for our West Valley residents? That makes no sense at all. Compare our transportation infrastructure to the East Valley, to the West Valley, we're about a decade behind them. We fought on MAG to even bring the SR into light into this next decade. So as mayors and as councils, we come together, and if there's a particular issue such as transportation, we come together and our claws come out. And it's good, because we need to be that advocate for our residents and saying that transportation is a huge issue, and why not invest in the West Valley that's going to have a 40% boom where it's most needed now, and it's definitely going to be needed in the future. So we're working together, and we as West Valley mayors, we're together as this will not be a toll road.
Great. So if you don't know what the proposed routes for SR 30 are, you can go to wemargad.org, www.wemargad.org, and under transportation, I have a map that shows the proposed routes for that SR 30, so you can see what it is the mayor is referring to. And when you see it, you'll realize how really critical that is. Yeah. PIR, Phoenix International Raceway, is a huge attraction. and going through some obviously very big changes and renovations.
And a new name, huh?
And a new, yeah, everything's going to be new.
Everything's new.
Yeah. Does the city garner any direct gains from the raceway activities?
Absolutely. I would say the traffic within, the fans going to the raceway. We have many restaurants that advertise just for fans to come and eat, to come and spend their money in Tolleson or Avondale. We definitely promote that as well too. Another thing that we've benefited from is from the NASCAR Foundation. So they have a foundation that gives to the communities where their racetracks are. And so our last benefit from NASCAR Foundation was a $5,000 grant to our elementary school. Our elementary school at PH Gonzalez has they work in conjunction with Banner Health to provide free health care, not only for our students, but for their families. And it has it at a relatively low cost as well too. So the NASCAR Foundation came and they did a day activity with healthy snacks, healthy activities to do.
Good.
We had a NASCAR driver come.
Nice.
I really wanted to drive the car, but Reyes didn't let me. But we had a great fun event for our children, and that was all because of NASCAR.
Nice.
They give back to the communities in which they play in as well too. So I think at any point when NASCAR comes into town, the economic impact of a NASCAR race is just like a Super Bowl race. Whether it be to Avondale, to Goodyear, Litchfield Park, we all benefit from races such as these that come into our town that boom, that people want to eat and people want to spend money. So, so we all benefit.
What do you think is the single largest issue facing the city of Tolleson, and what specific steps would you take to address it?
Oh, we just addressed this past weekend. One of our biggest, we would say, threats, but at the same time, we're going to turn it into our next opportunity, is our population. So right now, we're sitting about at 7,000 residents. Our goal is to become 10. We've been proactively out there trying to engage different developers to come in and bring that new housing stock into Tolleson. Many of our residents right now are multi-generational residents that have lived in Tolleson that maybe might be taking care of their elderly parent right now, or a family, and they've had their kids and they were living in the city of Phoenix, but now want to move back to where they grew up in. So that's right now our biggest push. And from a retail component and from a grocery store, that type of issue, that's been our biggest threat of why we haven't been able to land one in our city, is because of our population counts as well too. So we are going to be very proactive in turning that around and doing the best that we can to provide all the essential services that our constituents need.
Terrific. How can realtors help promote the city of Tolleson to their clients? You have a new website. It's very nice. It was very easy to use, and it's got lots of good information. What parts of the website do you wish realtors to point out to their clients when researching Tolleson as a location to live or open a business?
Awesome. Well, I would say go, and we have some great new videos that are on there that give a historic perspective of what our town is all about. I think sharing the fact that we are a close-knit community, and that we help each other out. And many of my clients, I know if you get them from the East Coast or even from up north, they're looking for that community type of atmosphere where they can go to events and they have, big parties. We close down the streets. Yeah. That's Tolleson. We do that on a monthly basis where we have many Grammy-winning awarding artists that come into our town. We have concerts that are free. And that is one thing that has attracted so many people to come into our town to see War, to see Lonely Boys. We attract a lot of the Latin artists. We've expanded to doing a boxing event too. Okay. We've done a jazz festival. Coming up in December, we are doing we have a Christmas festival as well called Luces de Navidad. We have a parade that goes down our main street. We have a festival for 2 or 3 days. We have a Founders Day, one in April as well too. So we are a city that loves to entertain and loves to have great parties and food and dance. So I would say that's something that you would share with maybe people that are interested in coming into our city as well too. We do have an active youth component as well too. And with our seniors, we do offer great services for them too, whether it's Meals on Wheels, whether it's coming to our senior center to do yoga, going out. I mean, I'm going to join our senior center. We're going to different field trips. We're going to go to the Raceway next week. They're going to the state fair. So we're very engaged in what our families want and need. So I would say share that. We're a small town, but we're kind of in the thick of it all. I mean, we love to entertain as well too. And I would say go to our website, show them the videos. And if there's anything that you see that we don't have on there, let us know. We'll probably be putting a map because that's one thing I'm thinking of what our city of Tolleson, our boundaries are. But again, we're always trying to improve. There's something out there. We're relatively, as far as our housing stock, we're very low. If you see something in the city of Tolleson that's up for sale, it usually goes very quickly within our borders. Outside our borders, just south of us as well. I mean, the housing market, there's houses there that don't stay on the market too long, but again, it's a great place to live, work, and play.
We have just a couple of extra minutes, and so this is not a question that was prearranged, but I'm going to ask it just in case, because we were talking about the industrial that's going on in your city and all the different companies that are coming down there. I was meeting with some commercial agents last week, and one of the things they've now been talking about for over a year now is the lack of flex space. So does the city of Tolleson have any plans to in some way develop and accommodate that flex space need that is in such short supply here?
Yes. Are you talking more of offices or more of like industrial base?
The industrial base, so that you have, and it's what they're looking at for the most part is the classic where you can have like the office in front, but then you have the manufacturing and it pushes out to the delivery truck in the back. So you have the three parts of the building.
I would say for the city of Tolleson, that's one of our greatest niches in providing that type of flex space. For example, we just had a developer come in where our veterans are going to be, and they're going to build that manufacturing portion with that, offices or truck bays, whatever it is. They don't have a client right now as far as that has signed a contract or lease.
Okay.
But let's say when that earth starts moving and everything starts going up, that space will go up very quickly. And one thing that I know Reyes touched on a bit, but let's say a company comes in, from the time they come in to the time that we see them on council with a site plan approval can be as less than a month or 2 months.
Wow.
That's something that we pride ourselves in our process for our engineer to come and review, our inspector to go on site and review the actual site plan in person with the developer to the time it comes to us to final approval. That is something that we offer that I would say no other city in the state of Arizona offers, that fast customer service that gets them building, that gets their product in that warehouse as soon as possible.
Great. So if you're in commercial and you have someone who's looking for flex space, you know where you can go.
Come on.
You'll be accommodating. So thank you so much for coming. I absolutely enjoyed this. It was so nice.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming as well.
Yes. Thank you for coming as well. I know your days are busy, and thank you for taking the time to come. If I can help in any way from a city standpoint or from a realtor standpoint, please know I'll have my cards here. Any way that we could help each other succeed, let's do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.